Once again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raymond Seda. I'm honored to be your moderator for today's event. Thank you for being with us here. We're looking forward to a meaningful and engaging session ahead. To officially begin, we will start with opening remarks to set the tone for today's event. This will be followed by a quick rundown of our house rules to help ensure a smooth and respectful session. Next, we'll be having an introduction of our resource speaker, who will be leading the main discussion. After that, we will proceed with the highlights of today's event, the webinar proper delivered by our esteemed speaker, followed by the talk. We will open the floor for a Q&A session, so feel free to note down any questions you may have. After the discussion, we'll be having an awarding of the certificate as a token of appreciation for our speaker. We'll then share feedback and evaluation link to hear your thoughts about for today's webinar. Before we close, we'll go over some brief announcement, and finally, we'll wrap up with the closing remarks. So we invite everyone to stay engaged throughout the session. Now let's begin with our first item in the program to officially open. It is my honor to introduce a distinguished leader whose dedication and service continue to inspire the ICpEP community, both locally and abroad. He is the founder president of ICpEP Qatar, the executive vice president of the internal affairs of ICpEP GCC, and a respected member of the National Board of Governors in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Engineer Lelio O. Morga for his opening remarks.
Distinguished guests, fellow professionals, and esteemed members of the ICpEP community across the GCC and beyond. On behalf of ICpEP State of Qatar and in proud collaboration with ICpEP GCC, it is my honor to welcome you to this pivotal webinar series, where we explore the intersection of artificial intelligence, data governance, and trust, three pillars shaping the future of digital transformation. And today marks as a very special milestone. We are proud to present the first ever webinar sessions of the ICpEP State of Qatar chapter. This is more than just a launch. It is a celebration of vision, unity, and the power of the Filipino professionals making an impact across the GCC. We look forward to many more sessions to come, each one building on our shared commitment to excellence, innovation, and leadership. As engineers, technologists, and thought leaders, we stand at a critical juncture. AI is no longer a distant frontier. It is embedded in our infrastructure, our institution, and our daily decisions. But with great innovation comes a great responsibility. That's why today's topic, trust by innovation, comes trust by design, and the Balance Act are not just technical discussion, they are ethical imperatives. In trust, we examine how data governance frameworks must be proactively embedded into AI system, not as afterthought, but as foundational principles. This is about designing for accountability, transparency, and resilience from the ground and up. In the Balance Act, we confront the dynamic tension between AI agility and governance discipline. How do we innovate responsibly? How do we ensure that data-driven decisions remain fair, secure, and aligned with social values? These questions are especially relevant here in the GCC, where national visions from Qatar's 2030 strategy to UAE roadmap are driving bold digital ambitions. As a Filipino engineers and professionals contributing to these transformative goals, our voice matters. Our expertise matters, and our unity through ICpEP is our strength. Let this webinar be more than a learning session. Let it be a platform for collaborative insight, regional leadership, and global relevance. Thank you for joining us. Let us build trust by design and shape the future together. Mabuhay and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Lenny, for the inspiring message and for officially opening today's event. We truly appreciate your continued leadership and support for the ICpEP community. Before we move forward, we'd like to remind everyone for a few important house rules to ensure an organized and productive webinar experience. These are now being shown in your screen. This webinar is being conducted via Zoom to maintain an order and minimize distraction. All participants are kindly requested to keep their video turned off, microphones muted at all times unless recognized by the moderator to speak. If you wish to ask a question or share a comments, please use the raise hand feature or type directly in the chat box. Questions will be addressed during the Q&A portion. Professionalism and courtesy are expected throughout the session. Please engage respectfully. The moderator reserves the rights to take appropriate action should any disruption occur. For those who register, the detailed certificates will be issued within 1 week after submitting the evaluation form at the end of the webinar. We appreciate your cooperation and look forward to a smooth and engaging session ahead. Now we move on to the highlight of today's program, our webinar proper. We are honored to have with us a highly accomplished and a certified professional in the field of artificial intelligence, a project management, and a risk governance. Our resource speaker is Engineer Anchal Chobi, an AI certified trainer, a fellow member from PMI, a certified project management professional, or PMP, a certified Scrum Master, professional Scrum product owner, ISO 42001 lead auditor, ITIL and risk management professional or IMP from the PMI. With deep expertise and hands-on experience, Engineer Chowby will be guiding us through two timely and thought-provoking topics: trust by design, embedding data governance into AI risk strategies, AI in data governance, the balancing act. This is a valuable opportunity to learn about the critical intersection of AI and data governance directly from the seasoned expert in the field. Before we turn on the floor, allow me to share a brief background about the esteemed resource speaker. Engineer Anchal Chovi is a widely recognized as a global thought leader in AI governance, digital trust, and enterprise risk, particularly across the Middle East region. His insight and leadership continue to shape how organizations approach responsible AI adoption. With nearly 2 decades of global experience, he has held a key leadership roles in Fortune 500 companies, spanning sectors such as financial services, insurance, healthcare, and national infrastructure. Currently serving as a head of IT and GRC or a government risk compliance, Engineer Chobi has successfully led digital transformation programs worth over $50 million, strategically embedding AI, data governance, and cybersecurity into core business operation. Among his notable achievements, he is a recipient of a multiple ZIO or ZISO Tech Leadership Excellence Award, a participant in the prestigious Stanford Graduate Business School LEAD program in the USA, an advisor to regulators, and a frequent keynote speaker on responsible AI and emerging technologies. At the core of his work in his unique trust by design methodology, which transforms complex AI risk challenges into trusted, actionable business outcomes. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present to you our distinguished speaker, Engineer Anchal Chobi.
Thank you, Raymond. Thank you so much to ICpEP and the president and the rest of the team for putting up all this great stage together. More importantly, we are here together for a reason. I understand there's a lot of mixed audience over here. So Mali Gyang Bati, Alhan wa Salan wa Maraban Bikum, and a warm welcome and enthusiastic greetings to all of you from my side. As we come together today, let me share my screen first, and then I will just like to help you out with a couple of important nuggets which I want to carry on with you guys today. More importantly, just give me a second. And let me just make it a full screen. Okay, Raymond, is the screen visible to you?
Yeah, it's all good.
All good. Okay, is the notes visible or only the screen visible now?
Yeah, this screen is visible.
Screen visible, full screen, perfect. So I think everybody can see it perfectly. As we all come together, friends, okay, I invite you to take a pause here to reflect on an important question that all of us in this time in 2025 and further next, we are all experiencing a mix of couple of things. We are experiencing excitement, we are experiencing anxiety, we are experiencing a pressure. Okay, as we confront the new elephant in the room now, artificial intelligence, and the trust which comes alongside with it. The question is simple, yet profound. What does it really take to build a trust in a world increasingly powered by artificial intelligence today? My name is Anchal Chaube, and I am a data, AI, and risk expert, and I'm thrilled to be with you today, right here in this webinar, to courtesy to the ICP team, to talk us on this very important subject, which is called, I would say, as the balancing act. We are not here just to discuss the theory aspect. We are here to talk about all the aspects of why, what, who, and ultimately how. How we can build the trust in a way that really fuels rather than hinders the innovation. We are on a journey together today, one that really going to navigate the critical intersection of artificial intelligence and trust alongside the third pillar of data governance in it. This session is designed for anyone who is wrestling with the challenge of harnessing AI's power while really managing its immense risk. So let's dive in together on this. And I would like to start with a bit engagement here from the audience. Let's go for a poll. Small, good poll. Scan the QR code on your phones, and you should see a question around there. Okay, and I would see that what kind of answers come out to be there. And let's begin from there. Please submit your right answer if you can submit, or if you face any difficulty, let me know. I will manage it from the back end. Okay, so I'm seeing the answers are started coming in now. Let me just quickly see the answers are coming in which way. Okay, give me a second. Let me see what's coming out here. Perfect. So let me just quickly show you the interesting answers. Okay. Let me share my screen of answers to you. So here is the answers coming out. So most of the people have responded, still responding, by the way. So 36 people have responded over here in this quick poll that people are feeling excited. Some of the people are feeling undecided as well. Okay, so that's pretty much fine with all of us, because we are in that state where we are into that particular situation because we are trying to make the sense of everything together around us. So this is a crucial aspect that we are supposed to really understand and manage it from the angle of what we are trying to do together. While we see there is a situation here, let's take a quick journey further out and imagine that you are in a particular airport. If you're in Qatar, you're in Doha airport, if you are somewhere else, whichever the airport you are near to you, and you're boarding a flight. Okay, you're boarding a flight and you walk down a jet bridge. You step into the cabin, settle into your seat, and the engine hums. The flight attendants come with a smile. It feels that it's like any other journey you have taken, but then you hear an announcement, and here the announcement comes. Give me a minute. Let me just tell me if you can hear the sound if I'm playing it, Raymond. Just acknowledge me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard flight BT34533. We're delighted to have you with us today on our journey from Doha to Manila. Just a quick note before we take off. Today's flight is a little different. There are no pilots in the cockpit. That's right, your journey will be flown entirely by our fully autonomous AI system. Please sit back, relax, and trust the algorithm. Our engineers assure us they've spent 5 years training it not to confuse turbulence with a landing attempt. Your safety and comfort will of course be handled by our wonderful cabin crew, who are also keeping their fingers crossed. Thank you for choosing us, and enjoy your flight.
So how many of you would still sit back, fasten your seatbelt, and feel totally comfortable? That's a good question, right, for all of us to really answer and really embed it in our thought process. This is the really paradox of AI. It can be brilliant. It can really outperform human being in many tasks. It can even fly the planes, believe me. Okay, but that instant knot in our stomach, that the hesitation, it isn't about the technology. When we hear that there'll be no pilot in the cockpit and we will be giving our lives in the hands of some sort of system, which we can understand, partially understand, or we don't understand at all, possibly. So where actually the real confidence comes in to we all as a passenger, it's only coming from the trust. Okay, that's what we are going to discuss about. The trust doesn't really appear magically. It has to be designed. And in the world of AI, trust is built not by the glossy promises, but by the governance, by embedding the accountability, ethics, and oversight into the system itself. Without governance, an AI system is just like an invisible pilot, right? Powerful, but faceless. And most of us make ourselves as unsettled in the situation. So with governance, AI really becomes just not a machine, not a program, but a co-pilot we can really rely on. That's why today is about how we can design governance so deeply into the AI that trust isn't an afterthought. It's the real foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So the truth is, the trust is single most important factor determining whether AI will be embraced or abandoned. Without a strong foundation of governance, the risks become so great. We are talking about everything from systematic biases, a potential misuse, to really critical issues of non-compliance. And specifically, since we are talking about Middle East in this region, the conversation is even more urgent. Countries like UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia have a laser focus on data sovereignty. Data sovereignty, if people are not aware about this particular word, it really simply means, in a very simple statement, data which is subject to laws and governance structure in the country where it is collected or saved. In simple terms, if your company collects any data or stores data in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, or UAE for that matter, the data must follow the local law of those countries, even if the company is headquartered elsewhere. That's about data sovereignty. So this isn't a regulatory checkbox. It's a strategic imperative. The future of AI in this region depends on our ability to get this particular piece correct. So look at this image now in this particular slide. So this is a really perfect classic example and the metaphor of the world where we are living in today. If you see it very carefully, on one side, we have innovation. It promises boundless opportunity and speed. On the other side, we have risks, the constant threat of missteps, failures, and the thin plate which is connecting these two balls on that small base. That is the balancing act of accountability. So many people view governance as a brake on the innovation, but couldn't be it further from the truth. The governance is not a roadblock. It is a safe runway for innovation. It ensures that AI is just not fast, but that it creates a real sustainable value. It's about being bold and responsible at the same time. So we cannot ignore governance, thinking only speed and value, which is, of course, the business and market will do. And the vendors will come and promise moon in the skies. Okay, so other side is that how we are challenging this from the perspective of responsibility, from the perspective of trust here. That's what the fundamental question we need to look at. And that's why I established the why part here first. Why we are discussing this topic is exactly because of this. Is it relevant? Is it not relevant? Is it going to help me or not? I'm just a user. But in the layman term, if you are using something which is not having trust inbuilt in it, would you use that? Or would you like to use that in any form and shape? That's what we are looking at, why we are talking about this today. Let's take another good poll. Let me just see that if I can go back and then start second poll here for all of us. And let me just quickly share the poll. It should appear in the next question on the same one for you. If I just take a second thing. Okay, just refresh that QR in the piece and then let me present it. Okay, here you go. So let me share my screen as well if you want to see it. The QR code once more. Here is the QR code. Sorry. Sharing the screen back. So here's the QR code. Once again, if you go back and look at that, you should see a next question in front of you. If the next question is appearing in front of you guys, just chat response in the chat so I can get confirmation around that. The question is, if your company had to choose between launching an AI product fast or delaying to ensure compliance, which path you would take? Can you see that question in front of you? Is it appearing with the QR code?
Yeah, QR code.
Okay. The question is, if your company had to choose between launching an AI product fast or delaying to ensure compliance, which path would you take? That's the question you are seeing, right? Guys, are you seeing this question, correct?
We are seeing it.
Okay. So submit their answers and let's see what comes around. And let me see what the responses are coming in. Okay, perfect. So here's the response. The responses are these. Quickly, let me show you what people are responding here. Okay, I think 21 people are saying compliance first. And another majority is saying somewhere around depends on the risk appetite. Okay, that's interesting. It's an interesting balance, you see. And very less people think it's speed to market. So we see the divide already around. Okay, so what it means to us, it means to us that we have the people who are into that stage, who are into the divide at the moment, who are into the division of the limelight, that what shall we do with this AI speed here? What shall we do with the situation here? Because we at the other end trying to manage everything, but we are into that fulcrum where we are stuck with what shall we do? In the humble opinion, actually, you know what? We have to really see that, is it really compliance or is it something else? The result of the polls basically show us the tension between all we feel. Now let's talk about a powerful solution to this tension. That leads us to the next phase. What we're discussing is what. So here we are talking about what in the form of ethics, in the form of transparency, risk controls, which we build from the day one. We talk about what we need to do to build the trust, to move beyond audits. We need to go towards the model of continuous assurance, not one-off audits, yearly audits. That is not going to suffice here. We have to reduce regulatory penalties, okay, and reputational damage. That's what the assurance by design is going to do to us, because the more regulators will come off the speed with it, they are going to put more hard penalties if something is going as a disaster in the form of AI. Okay, somebody has to take the responsibility and accountability. So we have to understand the design, which is come by assurance, has what factors involved in it. So the governance by design is exactly this. This concept is simple yet transformative. Instead of adding governance as an afterthought, we embed it right away in the life cycle of artificial intelligence at the very beginning. Okay, so it's not bolted on, it's built on. This approach really transforms the compliance from the burden of value enabler. But when you really bake the standards for privacy, fairness, accountability, you're not just mitigating the risks, you're building a more robust and really powerful, trustworthy products in AI. That's what every company, every vendor is fetching for, that their product can go to the market, can create market value, and goes for the rapid adoption. But adoption goes with the risk of rapid decline also. If one news comes out about the product, that this product is not safe, this product is not good, this product is taken the data or whatever, the whole uptick mark of the graph which goes for the adoption, it double ticks go to the down. And that's where the fast pace of the life cycle of AI works with. Just like in the case of cryptocurrencies, this is also the matter of that graph which we are trading in the form of trust in this market with the AI. So how does this really blueprint of trust works actually? It has three core pillars. One is transparency, one is explainability, one is accountability. This means that we must be able to see how AI works, explain its decisions, and hold someone responsible for its outcome. Okay, we cannot just leave it to the point that, oh, the algorithm was like that, it has made a mistake, and then it has taken the data, it has given you the false responses and was given you false decisions, and because of that, sorry, we cannot do more than that. It's a machine issue. Can we only be satisfied with that? And fundamentally, we must remember that AI should always be focused on augmenting humans, not replacing them, right? So this governance stack must be scalable to work across the entire enterprises, entire organizations, not into one department, one team, or for a one person. Otherwise, one person is using solution A, one person is using solution B, third person is using solution C. That's not going to work for the whole organization, right? That's why it has to really cut across the entire company. So the journey to the trust by design is about evolution, not revolution, right? What I mean to say. It really means to take the existing governance, risk, and compliance, which we call as a GRC, okay, as a fabric, and seamlessly folding AI into it. We have the traditional governance model in the past, but we have to really take this fabric and wrap the AI into it now. We have to address the bias, drifts, auditability aspect about what kind of steps the AI has taken to recommend you something, where the model has taken a drift at the back end, which kind of data it has really used, if the data has the inbuilt biases in it, what kind of metrics we are tracking to understand that bias scale. Is that visible to us as a user, as a consumer? Okay, these are the important factors. So this kind of framework is very important to strengthen the whole resilience on the adoption of these AI systems. We are moving away from the slow and periodic audits to the world of real-time sentinels now. Okay, the systems that continuously monitor for issues and provide instant feedback. It's proactive, not reactive approach anymore. So gone are the days when the audit teams will come, will monitor, and then will give you the non-compliance findings, challenges to operate on, recommendation, and then go away for the next 6 months. That's not going to work in AI systems. AI systems need to really be on oversight and reducing the blind spot continuously, not on the particular milestone basis. So how we can do this? Again, let's try to obtain a new poll that will really take us through the next part. So let me obtain the new code for you, and then let me present the new question about who. Just refresh your QR code of the screen which you did last time, and you should see the next question now in front of you. So who owns the AI risk in your view? If you are working in a company, you can respond. Or if you're not working in a company, what do you think? If you're working in a company, who is the person or who's the department who should own the risks for having AI systems or AI solution for your consumers or for use? Okay, interestingly, so I'm seeing some responses coming in. Let the people respond to it. Okay, interesting. So the three options in front of you, one is IT, information technology. It's a compliance team or compliance people who should own the risk and managing the risk and guiding the people about the risk. Or it's a business. Business work is to really manage the risks. If the business start going managing the risk, who will do the sales? Who will do the operations? And confusing, right, for all of us. Okay, so a lot of people are telling IT. Majority of the people, I think 23 people have responded so far. I'm seeing the response over here. And still some people are responding, thinking it through. So far, majority is thinking it's IT, actually. And some people are now started thinking, no, it's not IT alone. IT can do what? IT don't have a magic wand to do everything with them. And AI is not the system which is built by IT, right? Alone. It is using IT as a base, but in the past times, you have the other systems which are not created by IT, but managed by them. So then who? Interestingly. So I'm seeing the majority still stick with the IT as a major response over here with me. Let me share the screen. So let me come back around this. So the right answer to this, what do you think? Who is that? Okay. Really make this interesting, right? We're really confused about this really new participant in our work. So who owns the risk in your organization? AI risk does not belong to one single function. It's inherently cross-functional. Each stakeholder plays a critical role. IT technology teams are responsible for implementing AI responsibly, ensuring the models are robust, security and technical safeguards are in place. They handle the operational risk of the failure or breach. What about the compliance and legal? What they are doing in this party? They're ensuring adherence to the regulatory frameworks, data privacy laws, ethical guidelines, and audit readiness. They manage regulatory and reputational type of risks. So what about the business then? The business units own the outcomes of IT decisions. They understand the strategic impact, customer-facing consequences, and financial implications. So in practice, the AI risk is collectively owned. But if I had to assign ultimate accountability, it going to rest with the business because they are accountable for decisions AI enables. IT is going to only handle that security, technical, and robustness risk of the model and all. Compliance is going to manage the reputational and regulatory type of risk. Business is going to own the outcome-based risk. So ultimate accountability sits with business, but all three functions has to work together to share this different level of risks. That's about who. So we discussed about why we're discussing it. We discussed about what is a trust and design meaning to us. And now we discussed who. Who are the parties involved in managing and understanding this trust model and how to manage and who will do what. So here's a powerful idea, guys. I'm going to leave you here. So governance isn't just a it's just not there to protect you from the bad outcomes. Okay, it's actively improves your AI performance also. So it's just not a kind of runway to your aircraft that if you don't have a runway, aircraft will have a bad landing. Just not alone that. Yes, it will have a bad landing, but the performance, the how much time the aircraft is taking to land and to take off, that will also get impacted by the quality of the runway. So it's ultimately improving your performance also. Think about it. Clean, reliable data is the fuel for the smarter and more effective AI models. Governance ensures that your data is consistent, compliant, and that you can always trace its lineage. Ultimately, a trusted data foundation is what allows you to build trusted AI. So that's where the really governance idea is just not from the guardrail perspective. It's about the helping the AI to really accelerate the gears as well. Okay, what's happening now? We discussed about a couple of things already. In the 2025, what's going ahead and looking ahead, we are seeing an exciting shift. It's no longer just about governing the data that fuels the AI. Also, it's about using the AI to govern the data itself. That's a game changer. So it's a kind of vicious cycle. We are using governance to manage AI, and AI is also helping to manage the governance. So that's the cycle completes there. And that's the really fantastic part about it. So we see there's automation coming in there. There's a cloud governance option. The real-time cloud native governance is coming in. AI ML tools are applied to the governance now. So the whole governance functions are really getting catalyst by these important tool sets, by this technology, who's helping the governance people to really take this push to further leap ahead. So when AI governs the data, what's going to happen? The AI automates classification, lineage, policy enforcement. This can be done by AI, by machine learning models, so that no human being is creating the rules and those false positives coming to them, updating the rules, again, understanding the new rules. Okay, this all need to be understood by the AI itself automatically and then learn from it to really update those. So machine learning enables the scalable compliance monitoring. You can really monitor and govern to the 50 people company, 3 people company. But what about when the company grows? Can we do that with the couple of governance people or security people or AI people who just to keep monitoring the performance and these things? No. Then the machine learning need to really scale up here. But human oversight is very important because ethical judgment will not be done by AI. AI won't understand what is 100% right, what is 90% right, and what is 80% right. If you can give the rules, they can. But if I want to tweak the rules, I can make the AI to make wrong decisions. And it will be trusted. We are thinking that human is guiding and AI is making decisions. But if the human has intendedly guided wrong, that's not ethical. So we have to really have the human oversight properly done there continuously. This is especially critical here in the Middle East. Again, regional laws like UAE data protection law and Saudi PDPL, personal data protection law, demand strict compliance here, particularly around the data residency and sovereignty, which I spoke before. Governance is going to ensure that you are going to meet the requirements, transforming the high quality compliant data into the really competitive advantage fashion. So high quality plus really compliance data will only can give you better outcomes. Otherwise, only putting the high quality data without any compliant data compliancy build up on it is not going to help you around. So most organizations have what we call as a dark data as well. Okay, what is this dark data? Dark data, vast amount of data, which is unused information, hidden away in silos in the companies. By combining the power of AI and governance, we can really illuminate this data and its shadows, because most of these data is hidden, nobody's taking care of it, and really unlock their hidden value. This transforms dark data into an actionable competitive insight, the data which is unforgotten data, which is having value, but nobody has a time to look at to really understand what's behind the data. AI can come and help us to really understand the data and bring that data from the shadows to the forefront now, making the much more better sense of your context of your company, making the decisions using not only which is present with the recent information, but also in the past information which has been sitting over the years. And the insights which are gone deeper into that, that's really helps. Let's take new poll. That's again brings us to another question there. Let me see, the poll is a new question for all of you. And let's see what people think about this one now, about Middle East. So if you have been working in the Middle East in that level, just want to look from your angle, what much information you people have about it. Which Middle East regulation most emphasizes on data residency? If you're working in Middle East already or planning to work in Middle East, this information is very crucial for you. So there are different Middle East countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE. Which country regulation has most emphasis on data residency? Okay. Some people are responding now. I'm seeing the results coming out in front of me, but let's see. So 14 people have responded so far. Now people are increasing. Let me give some more time. Okay, great. So some balance between Saudi and Qatar. And okay, now Saudi is reaching race a bit. Okay, interesting. Some people are taking time to respond. Okay, perfect. I think I'm seeing a bit balance in all the three countries now by the people. A lot of people still feel it's UAE. Highest number of votes have gone to UAE so far. 9 votes gone to UAE. Okay, and now 8 has gone to Saudi. And 6 vote has gone to Qatar so far in front of me. So typically, this information is telling us what? That all the three countries are in the race, number one. Okay, everybody has the situation there. Everybody's trying to keep the pace with the situations. So we have to really look from the angle of what's really is working here for all of us. To give you the right answer, I will give you the right answer. Okay. Because if the people have worked in any of these countries, they will feel that that country is leading, okay, for that matter. But idea is that answer is, for the residency perspective, Saudi is having the strong emphasis on the consent and data residency among the three. UAE data protection law, on the other hand, aligns more broadly with the international standards. They've taken a bit of lift and shift from the GDPR predominantly to a level. This underscores a vital point, actually. In this region, governance is not theoretical exercise. It is a business critical exercise to all the government. And when the country level governments are taking it to this level, you can think about the private players. Okay, because if you're operating in these countries, you need to abide by the law of the land. That's very important. So you cannot ignore the aspect of data governance if in the Middle East, by and large, even in the Philippines down the line, okay, things are not going to be at the lighter level. So we learned why, we learned what, we also saw who, and now we finally steps towards pondering that how. So practical steps to have a trust by design, where we need to start. How do we put this into practice? Here are the 4 concrete steps. First one, assess your real current maturity. Understand where you are today with your governance practice in your company. Next, build a cross-functional team. As I said, it's not one department thing. AI risk is not owned by one department. It requires collaboration across IT, compliance, and business. We have to create those cross-functional cutouts. And then third, adopt the iterative model around monitoring and assurance cycle. Don't wait for a year-end audit. Monitor continuously. Finally, the most important, embed the governance piece into your design from the start. What it means to say, if you are building a product, or you are buying a product, or you are customizing the product, whatever you're trying to do, you have to understand that your governance controls are mapped to that. Is your solutions, is your tools following those standard or not? And if not, how they can follow? That's the kind of questions we need to ask to the vendors. And that's where the trust by design will come. Rather than just going to the shop and buying a product and started using it and thinking that it's all safe because it comes in the beautiful package. I open the wrapper and it's really beautiful in the front, and let's put it out and start using. That's not the really governance is going to help. So we have to take accountability of what we are using, because if you're using it for yourself or for the consumer or for the customer, it's we have to take responsibility of using it in our work, even if you're taking it from the perspective of chat GPTs or any other things what you're doing. But if you're using it, you are responsible. Chat GPT and team is not responsible for doing what you're doing from it. So all that, when you use it, it's you. As a consumer, it's you. You have to understand the design perspective of governance. Now, people who are non-technical, they must be thinking, how I'm going to do that? That's not for that matter, but it's about the process. It's about the governance in the company, that what the company is telling you to use these tools by which guardrails, and who need to take responsibility of this, and how we need to really build this into our DNAs. So how this is going to bring the benefits to the organization and community? This is going to bring the trust in the adoption. Okay, regulator will accept more and more AI usage, rather than saying that, hey, stop, if you're using AI, we are not going to trust you. We need somebody to really endorse as a human being. This trust will increase. Governance lowers the compliance and risk cost. If there's a risk involved, there's a risk happen, you have to mitigate them. There is a cost involved in mitigating those risks. Money comes in. You can reduce that cost cutting with the help of governance. Customers, more importantly, you give the trust to the customers that we are using the product for you, or we are giving this product to you, and the trust is built in it. You don't have to go and discover it from somewhere else. So this is the really thought-provoking benefits which you are going to get. I would like to bring to this conclusion towards the last, guys. This slide is a very typical example of the person who is walking on a tightrope now. You can see it. Okay, one side it is innovation, one side is a risk, and the person is holding the big pole on their hand and walking around. What is that big pole? What do you think? The big pole is the trust. We begin this with this image. Actually, I want to end this with this particular, that one side of the rope, let's imagine a sign says just innovation, other side of the rope is risk, but the governance is in between. Without it, the walk cannot happen. Without it, the act is going to collapse. And there's a truth. The AI today is that a tightrope walker. Every organization wants to race towards innovation, automating all the processes, predicting outcomes, driving all the efficiencies, but every step carries weight. Bias in the data, regulatory penalties, damage to reputation. If something goes wrong, those factors cannot be revived back, and will be heavy penalty on those. So the balancing act, it isn't about slowing the innovation. It's about making sure that the rope can hold, making sure the governance is the transforming. The terrifying stunt, what we are thinking here in the picture, is an awe-inspiring performance for all of us. So the question will explore that together, how we will build this rope strong enough to carry the future of AI with us without clipping the wings, what we are trying to get it around. That's the balancing act we are here to unpack by the trust by design. And ultimately, this session is just to give you the taste about it. There's a lot of depth in it, which can be gone and which can be learned with the time. But more importantly, we are here to understand the journey of AI is continuous discipline, not one-off event. It requires dynamic leadership that understand how to balance the innovation and trust. And Middle East is in a unique position to lead globally. We embrace responsible AI from the start, we cannot implement in AI in our core industries, but we also have to set new standard for the trust what we are going to build from the digital here. So our moment to lead is here as AI is racing ahead, and there is no one executive in the emerging C-suite, but chief trust officers. The companies like Salesforce, Airbnb, Orange, these people are appointing these kind of specialists to steward the ethics, data protection, AI governance. So the AI is not a personal kind of PR exercise alone. It's a signal that really is going to trust seen as a strategic asset and not a nice to have here. Let's bring to the end of the last poll in front of us. Okay, I would just like to start the last question for you, and let's see how it really shape up to guide us into the next frame. So you have learned a couple of things in the small session at the moment. The last question for all of us to really look at, which of these is an example of governance by design? Okay, ignore the last fourth option, it's blank, so don't need to choose that one. Choose from the first three only. Okay, so people are responding. Okay, 16, 17 people have responded so far here, and interestingly, it's fair enough and it's very easy one. Answers are in front of you already by now, if you can see the answers. So answer is in the second one, the embedding privacy into the checks there. Okay, that's what we need to really work towards. We cannot just go simply by looking at idea of not having it, but by the trust by the design. I think we begin uh, with the image of a plane entirely owned by AI. Would you trust it without governance? And we end it with the tightrope walker, balancing act of innovation and risk. Together, we reminded these two examples that trust is not abstract. Okay, it must be designed, it must be embedded, it must be continuously safeguarded. So I think with that, I would like to finish this particular small session. And thank you so much for your engagement, fellow folks and friends, and your attention and your participation in the poll. And then the tightrope of AI is challenging, but but the right governance, we can walk it. We can walk it with the confidence. And if you have any questions or want to connect, you can find me on this QR code over the LinkedIn. And let's continue this journey to build a future where AI is just not intelligent, but also inherently trustworthy with all of us. Thank you so much. And I will open the floor with any kind of questions if you have.
Thank you very much, Engineer Ansel Chobi, for that insightful presentation. I'm sure our participants have gained a lot of valuable knowledge from your discussion. But I'm not brave enough to board with a plane without a pilot. I'm adventurous, but not that much right now.
Yeah, the
So,
trust is yet to come in, brother.
yeah,
That's what we're discussing now. We have to get toward the trust rather than only chasing the tools. We need to start chasing the trust.
yes. So we will now proceed with the Q&A session for our participants. Please type your question in the chat box. I will read your question one at a time, and a resource person will provide his answer. Do you have any question? Or there's none? Can you please
Yeah,
note
no question is
type your
stupid question,
question?
guys. Okay, no question is stupid question, and anything which is intriguing you, which is making you confused, happy to answer. But yeah, I think the message is clear. The message is clear that let's not get into the technicalities about what is AI, what is machine learning. That's people can learn from everywhere. But we are looking about more strategic area about how the AI need to be really working into our further generations now, and especially we as a working professional, which we are in the situation, we have to really manage it out. Okay, there's a question coming in out, I think.
Okay, I got one question. I'm gonna read for you. There is ongoing research about AI. Is it effects on the environment? What would you say? Is it good? This is from Ezekiel Vance Cleo Valera.
Okay, so thank you for the question. What would I say? It is a good solution to reduce its environmental effect. Okay. Fundamentally, so it is again challenging the innovation, that this innovation is bringing the side effects. What I mean to say is that if you're eating this pill, you are getting better for your headache if you're eating a pill for headache. But on the sides, you are getting some allergic aspects about that pill. And that one of the allergy aspect is environmental aspect to our planet, to our situation. Now, I think what I mean to say is that my view over here is, guys, uh, everything starts from somewhere. Even the computer started from somewhere, one upon a time. Okay, nothing can stop from ether in the space. Everything happens on this earth, right? So somewhere we have to really see that when things start building up, there's, of course, we start at the very raw stages. Okay, today we saw the evolution of AI in front of us, but it has been happening in the past 10, 12 years. Only we are seeing it because now we got a chat bot kind of thing in front of us to type something. Then now we started learning about AI and all, but otherwise things were working. LLMs have been working in the space in the past couple of 10 years, 7 years in the research, and people who on the tech side had the access to them. Only the end user is getting it now. So ultimately, we are moving slowly towards the point where we are getting much and much more better from the perspective of compute power, from the perspective of large language model, small language model, edge computing, to use the AI algorithms, which can work only at the end side of the thing rather than working on the server side of the things. Okay, using the large set of data, but can we reduce the data set to the specific data set so that the computational power is less and we don't harm the environment for emitting that much of heat, consuming that much of electricity. So work is in progress. Okay, and I'm quite confident, and I think there is no reason that we will not be better off. For any human being and any evolution, when we start, it was at the raw stage, and evolution has happened over the time. And same thing is going to happen for the environment as well. Nobody is going to leave environment for the god and thinking that AI will not take care of it. No, we are moving towards the right direction, and AI leaders and AI companies and AI participants are constantly in the thorough research to reduce this impact on the environment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chobi. I think there's another question from Saturnino. Who is the ultimate responsible when an AI system makes an error or causes harm? And how is accountability enforced? I think this is a good question.
Yeah, I think a wonderful question. And then accountability is, again, I think we discussed about it in a small piece. Who? So who owns the AI risk? So ultimately, it's a cross-functional accountability. It's not a one person, one function, or one department. It's a cross-functional responsibility, because AI is an elephant which is not created only by one type of raw material. It has a data, it has a IT, it has the ethics, it has the law, and it has the business outcome. So I think it's a cross committee who is need to be made responsible for it in your company, not one person or not one department. And if something goes wrong, ultimately there has to be somebody as an accountable committee who has this responsibility or accountability sitting with them to own this accountability of harms and errors. Just like you have accountability in your company that no data is shared to the wrong hands. Somebody is owning that responsibility. Similarly, for AI, there will be somebody as a committee who will be responsible owning this as a governance piece.
All right, thank you very much. There's another question. What is your recommendation on this current generation of AI? Should a certain organization create an independent team department for data governance, which separate from IT, and business aspect? What are the best practices in data governance with AI for effective and efficient operation? Since technology is changing consistently, should the organization invest entirely to protect the data?
Okay, so as I think couple of questions already in one question there, I can see, let me just try to find out the best way to answer in a very concise and precise way. What are the best practices in data governance with AI for effective and organization risk, since technology is changing constantly, should the organization invest entirely to protect the data? So my recommendation, see again, the governance piece and the data piece uh, is a 2 or 3-way fold situation here. Companies don't have money to spend everything only on protection. As I told you, the tightrope walker, it has to balance it. That's a balancing act. How much money we are going to spend towards innovation and how much money we are going to spend in risk management or the governance management need to be balanced out. Now, sometimes if you are moving it to the right hand side, the balance is going to the left, so on and so forth. But ultimately, this idea is that we need to walk. We don't need to break this rope. So shall we take right hand side? Shall we take left hand side? No way. We have to keep a balance. That's the whole theme of this session, the balancing act. We have to make sense that how much money we are spending, what is making sense. We are just not going unidirectional, only protect, protect, protect. We are not generating anything value, or only generate value, we're not protecting anything. So I think that's not an idea. We need to really be mindful about the balance finding here. And that's where we need to look at as a business or as a team or as a leader, that we need to be keeping in this balance check, not only one-sided. I would not recommend one side anywhere.
All right. Next question is, how can organization embed data governance into AI development to ensure trust by design?
So how part? So I think the last slide, which I told the 4 steps framework, was exactly telling this thing. We need to really go into the 4-step model, 4-step framework, where we need to assess our current maturity practices of governance around AI. Do we have anything, or we have something in place, or we have nothing? Start from wherever you are, understand the current situation, embedding the governance into the design from the left-hand side. So if you're building the product, your engineers, your data engineers, your data scientists, algorithmic people, they need to introduce those design concepts from the perspective of security, privacy, when they're coding that kind of algorithm, okay, or they're bringing that kind of data into the modeling and then training. And of course, the monitoring has to be continuous and automated. We cannot just say that you monitor it when you are testing it and then only after when it gone to production, and after that, after 6 months. No, it has to be continuously monitored, even though from the development to the testing to the feedback and going to production, again testing. This is the continuous monitoring is to happen here from the perspective of auditing, and the AI can help in it. Human being alone cannot do that. And finally, more importantly, build a cross-functional team. Don't keep everything in place for IT. Don't keep everything in place for the data engineering team. Don't keep everything in place for the compliance team. Okay, we have to have a cross-functional team from different functions to understand the different aspects of AI solution and working towards its success. That's the 4-step model for this.
All right, another question from from Bahrain, all the way from Bahrain, Francis. I saw one app managed engine, same like Okta or for SSO, and they embed GPT inside. Like for example, in finance integration, AI can build everything from PR to invoice and payrolls. What do you think? The regulation, the between two apps applied in such Swiss and compliance.
Nice question. I think it's a very practical question, and I expect this kind of questions from the working professionals. So exactly, this is one of the use case. So putting the chat GPT or GPTs or co-pilots, okay, every tool and every company is going to work like that. Now, your question is what you do to think the regulation between the two applications. So I'm thinking a two application is finance application and some other application where manage engine is uh, doing the authentication part through single sign-on, and then going into the finance system and then fetching out the data and creating some kind of invoice or whatever. This is what I understood from the question. But the compliance and risk from the perspective of integration aspect need to be thought through. What I mean to say is that whoever is bringing this chat GPT inside, we need to really see that this is more of a kind of transactional workflow automation. Okay. Bringing the data, reading the data, what has been there, fetching it the data, and then based on the particular algorithm, create something for the invoicing and payrolls. Now, there can be error, there can be mistakes, and that's where the 4th pillar of framework, continuous auditing and monitoring. okay, need to be very, very solid in this space. Second pillar of design trust. So when you build this algorithm and testing the model, ML ops is going on, we need to have those KPIs in place, which can tell you the bias, which can tell you that, more importantly, this is a algorithmic system for machine learning rather than the generative AI. So I'm not too much bothered about bias and all. More importantly, the testing has to keep on happening from the perspective of the correctness, the preciseness. And if any errors are happening, I think they need to be looped back into the feedback cycle, because none of the system can work from 100% accuracy and 100% success from day one. There will be the trenches, and we need to really work towards fixing that. So don't get discouraged if there are any errors. I think we need to run a pilots. We need to run a pilots with the parallel runs of manual work is happening, and this is generating from the AI. Compare it out for the particular period of time for one department, second department, see how many errors we are getting and the discrepancies are happening, fix those discrepancies, and then roll it out in the step by step. That's what I would say.
All right, we get another question from our president in Qatar, Linilio Morga. What are the risks of weak data governance in AI system, and how can they be mitigated?
So the risks are so many. Okay, weak data governance can bring you a lot of damages, reputational damage, trust damage. If the trust is broken, you're getting me say, guys. Okay, if your trust is broken, it's very hard to regain the trust for any company. Once the market value has been deteriorated, no matter you bring how many products next, the name has gone bad. So the trust is super important here. So risk is fundamentally reputational risk, data risk, compliance risk, the compliance risk, regulatory risks. If the government regulations are asking you to do something and you're not meeting the standards, you will be fined. Will be a financial risk. Okay, there will be an operational risk. How many times the system is breaking? If your data is not in the place or the wrong data is going, data is not producing accurate results in the form of machine learning algorithm or generative AI, you're using it for framing your emails and putting it in your documents, creating the policies. Okay, there's so many risks around there, but ultimately it boils down to reputation risk, trust risk, and financial risk. If these three are gone out, that's the fundamental output of any kind of risk. How can they mitigate it? Again, 4-step framework, which I told you, 4 design principles through which only it can be mitigated. It cannot be mitigated by one single solution or one single buying tool and apply it. It does not work. We have to go with the framework model of 4 steps, which I told in the last slide.
All right, there's another question from Miss Liwai. This is a very short question. Can AI be governed by the law? This is applicable to all of us.
Yeah, so absolutely means AI can be governed by the law, but again, more importantly, we have to see that, as I told you, there is a governance for AI, and AI is helping in governance. So the cycle is going around. You getting me? So as we are reaching to that point, we will reach to that point where the law and authorities will also start using AI. If not now, might be tomorrow, or already they are using in work in progress. So definitely there's a law which need to be governing the AI usage, AI accountability. And that's where these laws are being made and getting developed by European Union, Middle East, all countries, US, all countries are bringing with their AI laws just to help out to understand that we have a guardrails. We are just not a wildfire, go and do anything with the on the name of AI. Definitely law will be governing the AI as well. There will be implications if they don't follow that.
All right, there's another question. This is from Mr. Iran Dato. I think he's from Qatar, our colleagues. What's your advice to IT professionals who are concerned that AI might eventually replace the job rather than support them? Our job.
Who are
Probably.
concerned, okay, the people who are concerned about it. So I think this concern is very natural, and it happened to us. The reason being very simple, because our previous generation, our forefathers, has also gone through this phase when when the computers were brought in, or when the industrial revolution has happened. The people who are working, they also felt the similar situation, that now we will not be needed. Okay, in our lifetime we are facing it first time possibly. That's why we are fearing it out. Okay, so that's natural. There's nothing unnatural about it. My advice to this is that, see, ultimately the way of working will change. The way of working is going to change and is changing. Okay, but we need to learn the new way of working. The rules of the games are changing. So if you're playing rugby, or you're playing a soccer, or you're playing any kind of game, or the sport, if the rules of that sport is changing, you cannot keep playing the game with the old rules. That's the only thing you need to keep in mind. Don't get freaking out. Understand what are the new rules of the games. Am I conversed with those rules? And if not, what I'm doing about it? Let's talk about those. Let's discuss about those aspects rather than getting worried about I'm getting replaced. I'm getting replaced. That's not going to solve you anything. That's not going to change anything for you or people around you. Okay, so that's why you need to think you're playing a sport, rules are changing. What I am doing to learn the new rules. That's it. If you are at least doing this, no need to get worried about. Things will automatically fall in place.
All right. So there's another question. I think it's a bit funny. What would be the next after AI? Is there an AI 1, 2, or whatever?
No,
Or
so I think
maybe AI has secured?
yeah, so the next AI is, of course, at the moment you must be aware by now, is the agentic AIs and the autonomous AIs, uh, where we are thinking that okay, AI systems we're not going to the skynetting still. Okay, if you talk about the Star Wars kind of thing, that's still a bit far away. Agentic AIs and the artificial super intelligence is yet to come in to get mature. But yeah, means definitely everything starts from one and it goes to the further down the line. So I think AI 2 or AI 3 or AI 5, whatever you want to say, that's happening. And at the moment, next is autonomous AI, where AI is not going to only help to generate anything, but also will do the work for you. And after doing the work for you, third AI would be, of course, to protect you. Okay. Fourth AI can be, of course, from the perspective of not only do the work for you, protect you, but create a new, altogether new ecosystems for the new business models. Okay, so AI will get mature and mature, and over the period of time, it will continues to go on. As far as we are in control of the money of the consumption, what we are putting around it, that's depend on it.
All right, there's another one. In your opinion, do you think AI can help in the field of, I think, studying or education? What are the pros and cons?
So I think this question is coming most probably, I don't know, is a person is from education background, or but study, I
Maybe-
can take it in a very uh, thin level. Study is can be done by professional or by the education students as well. Uh, AI is helpful in the form of research, in the form of understanding the concept. Okay, but it's not going to think that even after getting the knowledge, you don't need to do anything. That's not the point. Okay, still it will be you as a student or as a professional, what you're going to do with that knowledge. Okay, it is only a tool, it is only a system, it is only a set of solutions which you are using. Don't think that you need to sit in your couch and then everything will be done by that. And that's not the point. Is the cons is that getting into laziness, thinking that I don't need to do anything. No, only I need to do AI, how is it working, and know the tools. I don't need to do anything more. That's not the concept. So that's a cons. It's making the students lazy. It's making the people not to think, not to use the brains. Because today, using the brain is just like charging myself as a mobile. Okay, I'm a mobile, I don't want to put myself on a charge anymore. I want to go chargeless without any charging on and on, because I have this kind of superpower with me and everything it will be done. That's not the case. That's a con. Process, it helps you in deeper understanding faster. You don't need to go and sit in the libraries for hours, go to the professors, ask the right questions. Okay, that really helps there.
All right, there's a last question, I think. I think it's from the student, one of our student.
Okay.
AI is making it difficult for graduating students to write their own thesis and dissertation documents because almost everything they could write is plugged by AI as not human written, despite it came from their legitimate critical thinking. What can you suggest to mitigate this concern? So I think the student is asking, even though they write it by their own, at the end of the day, it is being plugged as written by the AI. So I think it's a good
So
question, and we need to help them answer it as a professional.
so again, see, The thing is that the education system is radically has to really give it a deeper thought now. Uh, I recently was reading just an article, I think 2 days back, where the idea was that shall all the universities and education people start banning the AIs or start discouraging the AI usage for the students. Uh, and there was a good thesis written around that, and the idea was that we cannot do that, the reason being simple, because if you restrict it from one area, they will start using from some other area. Now this question is a flip round. The person is asking that we are genuinely involved ourselves, but AI is telling that no, it's not you, it's you have taken the help of something else, which is the tools and the systems around. So plagiarism has always been there, the checkers are always been there. Now I think the standards of these checks, the trust around these checks, you know, that is what is going to make the difference. So if you just pick up any other tool, going to internet and say that this is my thesis, this is my dissertation, tell me is it written by AI or not AI? If that is the only thing which you are going to do or the people are going to do, there's no end. There are so many tools, so many solution. Every other day while you're speaking, one tool is 1,000 tools are getting created. Are we going to trust everything which is available everywhere? That's the question we as an educationist, as a professionals need to ask. Okay, so rather than trusting the data coming from these solutions, we need to put the governance model in it again. Okay, which kind of tools we need to use to really check this in our institute, in our education system? Okay, which are those, and how we can cross challenge this? There is no unethical things are going, because if the student is genuinely honestly doing something, the system is telling no, it is done by AI, it means the problem is with the system now. And this is the exactly kind of feedback which the systems need to get better off by using the feedback model and updating them out. So this is the continuous journey which is going to happen, and this can only happen again by balancing act. We need to have this model of trust and governance in place. Otherwise, there's no end about what is going to happen, who should take what. There's no end to these questions. Somebody in every education system or every company, there's a governance committee. We need to put these guardrails in place. We will take this verdict from this tools, this system, and this is how we are managing. This is the team who's accountable, and this is how this is being managed from the perspective of ethics and guardrails. That's the only way to really make it work in our industry together. Otherwise, there's just everything in the air.
All right, I think that was the last question. Thank you once again, Engineer Chalby, for addressing all of the questions from the participants with such deep and clarity, and thank you for the audience for your engaging question. So
Thank you,
at this
guys.
point, it was actually a very, very interesting and good conversation. And
No, I would like to thank to all the participants. I think really great audience. The quality of questions, and I expect it is far better than and initially. I really got astonished by the quality of questions with your audience there. It really makes the people think, right? That's where the game happens. It's just not on the slideshow, but more importantly, what we have understood from the concept. Because in this 45, 50 minutes, 1 hour, what maximum we can do is this, the getting the real engagement and get value about it. So I'm really happy to ICPCP and guys Raymond and the team to putting this show together, and the wonderful audience. I think the best of luck and God bless to all of you guys.
all right, at this point, we'll proceed with the awarding of the certificate of appreciation. It will be from the ICpEP GCC. To our distinguished resource speaker in recognition of his valuable contribution for today's webinar. To facilitate this part of our program, we will call on Engineer Jan, but he is not present at this moment. So I think we have to call on Engineer May Azareno, our Assistant Executive Secretary General of the GCC and a Secretary General of ICPEP Qatar.
Good day to everyone and from the different parts of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that we now recognize and honor our esteemed guest speaker. On behalf of ICpEP, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for the time, insights, and inspiration shared with us today. To formally express our appreciation, we would like to present this certificate of appreciation to Engineer Anchal Chaubi, for serving as the resource speaker in Trust by Design, embedding data governance into AI risk strategies, and AI and data governance, the balancing act. An in-depth session on the intersection of AI and data governance, hosted by the Institute of Computer Engineers of the Philippines, Qatar Chapter, and Gulf Cooperation Council Chapter, given this 6th day of September 2025 via Zoom meeting. We have signed by Engineer Noraisa Renibatan, the Secretary General of KSA, and yours truly, and also with Engineer John Christian Hendricks Perez, a representative from Oman Chapter. Also signed by Engineer Hazel Galas Lampitok, President of KSA Chapter and the Executive President of ICpEP GCC. And lastly, we have the signature of Engineer Linelio Morga, President of the Qatar Chapter and the Executive Vice President for Internal Chapter ICpEP GCC. Thank you once again, Engineer Chubby, and for being part of this meaningful event.
Thank you so much, May. I really appreciate all of you for doing this honor award with me. I think I would have been able to add some value to you people in terms of understanding in the past 45 minutes, 50 minutes. That's what my idea is. And then, of course, the journey is on. It's just, it's not any destination we have achieved. It's a relay race. Okay. And we know that we are not going to sit in a plane until the trust is going to be achieved. So whenever you sit in any kind of plane now, okay, don't forget that what I spoke and why I spoke about it. That's where the whole idea is. Thank you.
All right, I think there's another certificate. It will be presented again by our engineer because we got two certificates. One is from the GCC and another one is from Qatar. So,
We
Engineer
would
May?
we would like also to give this certificate of appreciation to Engineer Anchal Chubby in grateful appreciation of his distinguished service and invaluable support as the resource speaker during the Institute of Computer Engineers of the Philippines, ICpEP Qatar Chapter, during the first webinar session in Trust by Design, embedding data governance into AI risk strategies, and in AI and data governance, the balancing act. In
Thank
an
you.
depth, yes, in an depth session on this intersection of AI and data governance, signed by yours truly and the president of ICpEP Qatar, Engineer Linelio Morga, and our vice president for education, Engineer Raymond Seda. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, May. Thank
All
you,
right,
Lino.
thank you very much, Engineer. On behalf of ICpEP Qatar and ICpEP GC, we sincerely thank you, Engineer Chalby, for sharing your time, expertise, and insight with us today. Your contribution has truly enriched our learning and professional development as IT and engineering professional. Thank you very much. We have now concluded the awarding of the certificate to our resource person. As a part of our tradition, we would like to recognize the effort of our moderator and facilitator, yours truly, for today's session. To facilitate this awarding, may I now call on Engineer Jubel Matosinho, our Executive Treasurer at ICpEP Qatar and BOD for Technical Education and Training, ICpEP GCC.
So, hello, good afternoon, everyone. We would like also to take this opportunity to recognize our webinar moderator and facilitator, Engineer Raymond, for guiding today's session with excellent and professionalism. To show our appreciation, we are presenting this certificate of appreciation to your valuable contribution in making this event a success. Thank you, Engineer Raymond. This certificate is proudly presented to Engineer Raymond A. Seda, MBA, PMP, in grateful appreciation of his distinguished service and invaluable support as the moderator facilitator during the Institute of Computer Engineering of the Philippines, Qatar Chapter. Webinar session in Trust by Design, embedding data governance into AI risk strategies and AI and data governance, the balancing act. an in-depth session on the intersection of AI and data governance with the team empowering computer engineers and IT professionals in Qatar through innovations, learning, and community. Given this sixth day of September 2025 by Zoom meetings, it is signed by Engineer May Azareno, Secretary General of ICpEP Qatar, and also Executive Secretary General of ICpEP GCC. And also it's signed by Engineer Lenelio Morga, ECPE, the President of ICpEP Qatar, and Executive Vice President for Internal Affairs, ICpEP GCC. Thank you again, Engineer Raymond, for being with us.
Thank you once again, Engineer Jubel, and thank you to the ICpEP GCC and Qatar family for this recognition. It is an honor and a privilege to serve as your moderator for this meaningful webinar. So thank you once again to our source speaker and to everyone who has actively participated in today's session. Before we proceed to the final part of our program, we would like to request for your valuable feedback, which is that will help improve our future webinar, ensures we continue to deliver relevant, meaningful sessions for our members and participants. I may kindly request to everyone to please scan the QR code now being flashed in your screen, which was prepared by Engineer Christian Hendricks G. Perez, our Executive Secretary General of the GCC. We encourage all the participants to take a few moments to fill out the evaluation form. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. Before we proceed with our closing remarks, allow me to share some important announcement from the ICpEP. One ICpEP, 5th International and 13th National Convention, save the date, November 19 to 21, 2025. We encourage all the members to join this major gathering of computer engineering professionals, students, and leaders across the globe. Another announcement is about the Computer Engineering Certification Board. The application for Batch 11 is now officially open for the CPE, which is the Certified Computer Engineer, Professional Computer Engineer, or PCPE. Application period has been started last August 1 until November 2025, and the processing period will be on November 16 to December 10, 2025, and the result will be posted before January 1, 2026. So we invite and encourage our members to take this step toward professional recognition and advancement in the field of computer engineering. Before we proceed, let us take a moment to recognize and thank the dedicated team members behind the scene who made today's webinar possible. Their hard work, support, and contribution have been invaluable in ensuring a smooth and successful event. Please join me in appreciating our webinar team members whose photos are now being displayed on your screen. Thank you for your commitment and excellent work. At this point, we'd like to express our sincere gratitude to ICpEP Qatar chapter executive officers and directors for their unwavering support and invaluable contributions. Their leadership and dedication have been instrumental in the success of this event and the continuous growth of our community. Please join me in recognizing these outstanding individuals whose names and photos are now being displayed on your screen. Thank you for your commitment and service to ICpEP Qatar. We would like also to extend our heartfelt thanks to the ICpEP GCC executive officers and directors for their continued support and dedication. Their guidance and effort plays a vital role in advancing our mission across the region. Please join me in recognizing these committed leaders whose names are now being displayed on your screen. Thank you for your invaluable contribution to ICpEP GCC. Before we proceed, I'd like to capture this moment with a quick photo session. I think SG, can you do that? The screenshot of our session. May I kindly request everyone to turn on their cameras so we can take a group photo. Let us show our smiles and support for this wonderful event. I'll give everyone a few moments to get ready. So, Engineer May, can you take a shot?
Okay, can you please share it?
I'm gonna stop my sharing, I think.
Yeah, okay. So there are six pages for this. Just Okay, the first one. Let me just save it. Okay, second slide, smile. There are 127 participants. Okay, saving the second one. Then third slide. And we have the fourth slide. Smile. Then the fifth slide. And the last one. Okay, it's done. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, everyone. You look all amazing. Let me share my screen. Just wait a minute. And now, as we end today's webinar, it is my privilege to invite a distinguished leader to deliver the closing remarks. Engineer Hazel Galas Lampitok, who served as the president of ICpEP KSA, International Provisional Advisor for ICpEP Qatar, executive president, ICpEP GCC, and a valued member of National Board of Governors of the Philippines. We now share his closing thoughts. Please join me in welcoming Engineer Hazel Galas Lampitok.
Thank you very much, Engineer Mon. Assalamualaikum and a blessed afternoon in the GCC. And on behalf of the ICpEP GCC and KSA, representing Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kingdom of Bahrain, State of Qatar, Sultanate of Oman, Kuwait, and the United Arabs of Emirates, and as being the executive president of the GCC, together with the Honorable National Board of Governors, I extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you who joined us today for the ICpEP Qatar Webinar 2025 held in the coordination with the ICpEP GCC. This gathering is powerful reflection of our shared commitment to advancing knowledge, leadership, and innovation in the field of the computer engineering. It highlights the unity and strength of our chapter across the Gulf and the passion that continues to drive our mission forward. To our esteemed resource speaker, Engineer Arkal Chabi, thank you for your sharing your invaluable insights on AI governance, digital trust, and enterprise risk. Your global perspective and thought leadership have truly inspired us to live with integrity and vision in this rapidly evolving digital age. To the facilitators and the officers of the ICP Qatar chapter, led by chapter president, Engineer Linolio Omoraga, your dedication and excellence in organizing these events are deeply commendable. You have once again demonstrated the power of collaboration and the spirit of service that define ICPEP. To all our participants, thank you for your active engagements and presence. Your eagerness to learn and grow fuels the mission of the ICP GCC to empower Filipino computer engineers and IT professionals across the Gulf region and beyond. As we move forward, we continue to uphold the value of professionalism, collaboration, and innovation. Let this webinar be a stepping stone toward more meaningful conversation and impactful action in our respective fields. Mabuhay ang ICpEP GCC, mabuhay ang ICpEP Qatar. God bless us all. Maraming salamat for our participants. We have 130 participants in our webinar. Back to you, Sir Mon. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for staying with us. A special heartfelt thanks to Engineer Hazel Galas Lampiro. He delivered his message even though he is out of the country. He is now I think, in Korea. For his truly inspiring and thoughtful closing remarks, your words have deeply touched and motivated us all. We sincerely appreciate each of you for your time, attention, and participation. It means a lot to us. We look forward to welcoming you once again in the future event. Take care, stay safe, and keep shining. Goodbye to everyone. God bless all.
Thank you, Juan. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.